It's 2026, and picking a music streaming service isn't as simple as it used to be. These platforms have been battling it out for years, each adding new features, new perks, and sometimes new frustrations. The truth is, there's no single best service for everyone. The better question is, which one's actually best for you? To figure that out, let's walk through what Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Spotify each bring to the table. If sound quality is your top priority, Apple Music comes out ahead without question. It offers lossless and high-res lossless audio all the way up to 24-bit 192 kHz, plus Dolby Atmos for spatial audio. That combination gives you more depth, clarity, and dynamic range, especially in genres like classical or orchestral music, where you want those quiet to loud contrasts to really shine. On the right gear, the difference is obvious. Spotify tops out at 320 kilobits per second, and YouTube Music caps at 256 kilobits per second. Spotify's Hi-Fi tier has been promised for years but still hasn't arrived. And even when it does, it's expected to cost more. Now, most people are listening on wireless earbuds, which means some of those high-resolution advantages are lost because Bluetooth compresses audio. But Apple Music still often sounds cleaner and more detailed, especially since it pulls from higher-quality masters. And if you're using an iPhone with AirPods, you also get dynamic head tracking with spatial audio, which is a surprisingly immersive touch. YouTube Music is the heavyweight here. Because it's tied directly to YouTube, its library is essentially endless. You get official albums, remixes, live performances, covers, unreleased tracks, obscure soundtracks, and even your own uploads. Apple Music and YouTube Music both let you upload your own songs to the cloud so you can stream them on all your devices. That's a lifesaver if you've got rare albums that aren't on streaming platforms. Spotify, on the other hand, will only play your local files if you're on the same Wi-Fi network. No syncing between devices. This is where the personalities of these services really show. Spotify has built a reputation on its recommendation engine. Features like Discover Weekly and Release Radar consistently surface songs you'll actually enjoy. And the AI DJ, known as DJX, takes it a step further. It talks to you, curates playlists based on your mood or request, and can change genres mid-session with a single tap. It's interactive, it's fast, and it's genuinely fun to use. YouTube Music's recommendations are just as sharp. It learns your taste quickly, builds playlists or multi-artist radio stations around it, and even lets you seed a radio with multiple favorites at once. Apple Music takes a different approach. It blends algorithms with human curation, which can be great for variety, but sometimes means it's slower to adapt to changes in your listening habits. It has improved a lot in the past 2 years, and its live Apple Music radio shows, often hosted by artists or celebrities, are a great way to break out of your usual playlists and discover something new. If you live for playlists, Spotify still owns this space. The platform is built around them, from curated mood mixes to collaborative lists you can share with friends. Spotify Blend is a particularly fun feature. It merges your taste with a friend's, shows you how similar you are, and creates a playlist just for you two. Wrapped, its yearly recap, has become a cultural event. Apple Music has its own collaborative listening through SharePlay, and you can follow friends to see what they're playing. But it's not as socially connected as Spotify. Spotify packs in a lot of extras. Spotify Connect makes it easy to start playing music on one device and control it from another, whether that's a phone, laptop, smart speaker, or even a game console. The AI DJ and Playlist Builder give you interactive ways to shape your listening. Features like the sleep timer, crossfade, and built-in equalizer add more control. Apple Music focuses on music-specific perks. Apple Music Sing turns songs into karaoke tracks with adjustable vocals and duet support. Apple Music Classical is a separate app designed just for classical music, with better metadata and high-quality playback. And because it still carries some of that iTunes DNA, it gives you deep control over your library, from editing metadata to adding your own album artwork. YouTube Music's main trick is the YouTube Premium bundle. For a little more each month, you get ad-free YouTube, offline downloads, and background play for videos. It also has a Samples tab for quick discovery, and of course, the unbeatable advantage of tapping into YouTube's entire music database. Apple Music is the most minimal and clean. It's quick to get to the song you want, and its lyrics display is the most accurate and best-looking of the three. The downside is that it's inconsistent across platforms. The Mac app is clunky, and there's no smooth continuity between devices. Spotify feels the most polished and social. Its interface is consistent everywhere, it runs smoothly, and it just feels fast. The homepage can be a bit overwhelming with so much content, but for many users, that's part of the charm. YouTube Music has a sharp, modern look, but it can feel cluttered with non-music recommendations and a strong push toward music videos. Building playlists takes more clicks than on Spotify, and it uses more data and RAM, which can be a problem on slower connections. Price is usually the first thing people want to know, and on the surface, all three are pretty close. Apple Music and YouTube Music both start at $10.99 a month for individual plans, while Spotify sits just $1 higher at $12.99. If you're looking at family plans, Spotify let you share with up to 6 people, while Apple and YouTube Music stops at 5. Student plans are $5 to $7 a month for all three, but you'll have to verify your enrollment and renew it every year. Free tiers tell a different story. Spotify and YouTube Music both have one. You can't play songs on demand, skips are limited, and you can't jump around within a track. It feels a lot like using a radio station. YouTube Music's free tier lets you play songs whenever you want and skip as much as you like, but it doesn't allow background play. Apple Music doesn't have a free tier at all, though you can sometimes get it bundled with other Apple services through Apple One. If you care most about pristine audio and having full control over your library, Apple Music is your best bet. If you're all about discovering new tracks, building playlists, and sharing music with friends, Spotify is still the king. And if you want the biggest catalog, plus the bonus of ad-free YouTube, YouTube Music is tough to beat. The right choice comes down to what matters most to you: sound quality, discovery, catalog size, or just the joy of sharing music with the people you know.